Hello friends. So this is about the ending of January and the beginning of February. This was my January deck of the month, and this is my February deck of the month to explore. So this deck, which I did a couple of other videos about, I was really enjoying. I would pull a card a day, and I'm going to miss it, actually. I'm going to miss pulling a card a day and kind of connecting with it. I do have to, I actually took the guidebook out of the box, so I would not be referring to it anymore. Not trying to learn the goddesses at all, and just going with the image on the card. And that seemed to be working. And as I said, I was enjoying pulling one of them a day and getting to know them. But I've got a lot of oracle decks that I need to sort of get to know and evaluate whether they're really keepers for me. This one I am going to keep, but I can't linger with it because I need to go on to the next one. And that is the Earth Warriors Oracle. So, yes, I'll put the ancient feminine wisdom aside. So the problem with this is that I felt shortly after getting it that I had pulled the trigger based on the beauty of the cards. That yes, I fell for a pretty face, an intense face. You know, I'm starting to think of it as I need to stop and say, do I really just want this art on a gift card, on a note card of some kind, instead of as a deck? So I also like the multicultural aspect of the deck. I mean, there are lots of things to like about this deck. I think the biggest issue is the titles that aren't very useful, like Pono Pono. Unless I go to the guidebook, I'm not going to know who Pono Pono is or what it refers to. And then it says immeasurable power of the heart way. To me, that doesn't say very much either. So, you know, in terms of what it's talking about, she does have a heart here. So to me, this is, which is kind of a Blue Angel, Alana Fairchild thing, where you take existing art and you create a guidebook to go along with it. And that can create a stretch in terms of meanings for the cards, or like having a proper range of meanings for the various cards. And even though I like the art that's frequently chosen for Blue Angel decks and Alana Fairchild decks, I don't get along with the way she names art, assuming that she's the one who does that. Because I had a similar problem with the Wild Kuan Yin, which I really like otherwise. And I have kind of a problem with what I tend to experience as some kind of New Age preachiness that kind of goes on in the guidebooks. not all of the guidebook is like that necessarily, but it's like, you know, it's a pretty chunky guidebook. And I mean, it could be, and I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that could be very well be the type of person who loves that sort of thing, is exactly who Blue Angel is marketing toward. That could very well be. And that it's just not me, even though I get sucked into the great art or artists that they seem to find for, you know, for their decks. So that's something I'm still kind of feeling out. But I've gotten so that I'm a little bit skeptical with Blue Angel and Alana Fairchild decks, just knowing that I have an uneasy relationship with them. Another thing about this deck is that had me a little skeptical is that when I went through it the first time, it seemed, and I think it's kind of the artist, I don't know if she uses herself as a model a lot of times for the faces, but a lot of the faces seem very similar. But not all of them. I mean, this face is obviously quite different from this face. So there's kind of a uniformity there. But, you know, I liked that this was a deck that had mostly brown-skinned people. But it seems like it's one or a limited number. You know, these faces look quite similar, actually. But anyway, but beautiful cards. And so I did, the other day, I had gotten this out to take a look at it and read a little bit in the guidebook. And just for a few cards, you know, it's got I think I was reading these short introductory paragraphs. But I also pulled 3 cards the other day. So the first, you know, and so it's a matter of whether I can look at my day. It's the same thing I essentially did with this deck. If I can look at my day and see any relevance between my day and the card that I pulled that morning, I have a hard time imagining that I could pull more than one of these cards normally, between 1 and 3. Like, I can't see doing a 9-card spread. But we'll see. You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to try with this. This is one of the challenges, I think, of having an Oracle deck a month is, you know, with my tarot decks, I could run them through a bunch of tarot spreads. That's not so true with Oracle decks. So I had this card the other day was the first one that I pulled. And this is a lake in Mexico. So it says Goddess of Teotihuacan, and she guards the waters of life. And so I thought, all right, you know, I read in the guidebook, and of course it's going into all sorts of spiritual stuff. But to me it was, and I think there was some practical stuff in there, but in the end I thought, all right, you know, I just connected with the, you know, my vision of that particular lake, which I had studied a little bit with the Sacred Sites Tarot. And I just thought, all right, I need to be drinking because I've got this cough. I'm still getting rid of my bronchitis. So I need to be hydrating and drinking to get all of the stuff out of there. Keep stuff loose. And I need to take a shower. And so that's just how I interpreted it. I didn't go into anything fancy. And then I got this, the Turquoise Changing Woman, and I can't remember. I guess I just saw this as, again, the physiological changes as I'm moving through this bronchitis. And so it's a good thing that it's changing. And then I think the last one was this one, Nana Uluku. And it's just, she rests to create. I didn't even go in, I think, and look at what this meant. It's just, she rests. That's all I need to know. Okay, so I need to drink and rest as I go through this change. All right, that's all I need to know. I don't need a lot of spiritual information here. I haven't done that again yet. I've actually had some busy days as I start to get well. Instead of having a morning ritual where I pull a card or three, I go right to work. So, but I'll get back to it, and I'll make sure that I start pulling some cards from the Earth Warriors Oracle. And we'll see if this one survives by the end of January. If it's a deck I'm going to keep or a deck I'm going to let go of. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.